bring in Mark Sanchez, Fox NFL analyst. He's in Chicago. He is getting ready for the Rams and the Bears on Fox on Sunday at 1 Eastern. How would you answer the poll question about the Cowboys being Super Bowl contenders?
I think it's way too early to tell. I think, they didn't play well last night, as most of these teams tend to do on Thursday. It's a short week. Team looked great, but they found a way to get an ugly win. But I need to back up a second, Dan. I'm sorry. Fritzy gets me on the show, says, come hang out, and he's a no-show. You're down 2 of the Danettes.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well,
you're like the Rams. No Puka Nacua, no Cooper Kupp.
I wouldn't put him in that category. I think it's kind of like Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I'm not sure what I have or I don't have. So those are my 2 guys that are missing in action. But they're visiting family, so they have legitimate excuses. They just happen to do it on the same day. All right, so I'm just curious about the Cowboys as they move forward. I know we focus on them too much, but you have CeeDee Lamb and you have Dak. They don't have a running game. They're not very good at stopping the run. Their secondary continues to get banged up. And I'm looking at the schedule, the next 6 games they have, and they're playing against 6 playoff contenders.
I think because they have the talent on offense to score points, it's an offensive league, they're always going to be competitive. I think what really hurt them, not necessarily last night, but last Sunday, if you go back and watch that Ravens game, they were so far out of the game, and then they started chasing points. It was like a 4th and 14 or something, and they went for it when they were in field goal range. They got a field goal kicker who's elite. I mean, this dude can knock it from the locker room and make it. So you cross the 50, and you're already thinking, alert, we got 3 points potentially in the bag. So that's going to keep them competitive. Plus, as you mentioned, the Cowboys are always in the Super Bowl hunt. Unless they're like 0-15, they're always, somebody we're going to talk about. That's just who they are now. So the biggest thing in this league, and we've talked about this before, but these are 1-score games. 1-score games in the 4th quarter. And if you can keep it there, more games are lost and given away by the other team or mismanaged clock, timeouts, the time management stuff, then they're actually won. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to go down and be Santonio Holmes in the back of the end zone, Super Bowl, and go win the game. When that happens, everybody's just firing on all cylinders. You're kind of throwing caution to the wind, and you're just throwing the ball all over the yard. That's fine. It's desperation. You're trying to win. But these other games, for the most part, you got to just keep it close. And because they have the offensive firepower, I think they really can go deep. It's just you're going to need some help on first down. You're going to need some help with that run game. Don't put Dak in 3rd and 10, drive after drive, series after series.
And I don't know if, the sample size of the first 3 weeks, teams are running the football. And,
no doubt.
And I don't know. I mean, you got a game with the Rams and the Bears, and I don't know if, who's winning is going to be predicated on running the football. But we're starting to see, it feels like, the safeties are playing so deep. I mean, they did this to Mahomes. It was,
that was the year, remember? For 7 weeks, we're like, oh, that was it. Patrick flamed out. He's no good anymore. He can't dink and dunk. Well, he figured that out pretty quick. You know what I mean? So you're 100% right. And if I can just go in that vein, you have to tailor your system, your offense. In the old days, let's go quickly. I'd hand you a playbook. It's this thick. Hey, run my system. And I'm going to get the best players I can to run that system. Now, these systems, you want guys together over a long period of time because that original playbook is going to evolve over time. It's going to grow. It's going to change. It's going to experience things and change with the players, a core group of players that you try and keep together that can run certain things really well. And then you get counters off of stuff. Then you get, the sizzle plays, whatever. Well, these guys in Los Angeles, Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford are in lockstep. It is incredible to watch them play. He understands the play caller's purpose as soon as it comes in the headset, and he's already anticipating what's coming next. They're so good together. They, for the first time since McVay's been there since 2017, whatever it is, ran 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Why? Cooper's gone and Puka's gone. Those guys are they're straight up gangsters in the run game. They basically act like tight ends. So they can run 11, which is a 3 wide receiver set, 1 back, 1 tight end. They've been used to running 11 sets or 11 personnel sets and letting those guys go in and dig out linebackers, safeties, whatever. They didn't have that anymore. You can't do that with Tutu Atwell. That's not, he's out of his weight class trying to do that. So what do? Keep those guys spread out, bring in Hunter Long, a journeyman tight end from Boston College who was in Miami first, now here, finally healthy, get some blocking in, and Colby Parkinson, a guy who knows their system from Shane Waldron and the Seattle Seahawks. They ran almost exclusively 12 last week and won a game for the first time that they've ever done that. So what I mean by these playbooks evolving, that's a perfect example of tailoring your system to what you have and hanging around to the fourth quarter. The week before in Arizona, the Rams got embarrassed, just flat out embarrassed. They had run 10 offensive plays, and they were down 21 points. Thing was just a runaway train, and they were left at the station chilling. The next week, the Niners go up 14-0. They had only run 3 offensive plays. I called both games back-to-back, and I'm literally looking at Adam and me, my partner, and I go, oh, boy, here we go again. And then they make 1 special teams play. They score right before halftime. They get the ball out of the half. Like, it just started to turn so fast, and you could tell they learned the lesson from the week before. Not that they're perfect, but they learned the lesson from the week before. Don't let this thing get away from us. Hang around till the end. And with somebody like Matt Stafford, Dak Prescott, back to your Cowboys question, you're going to have a chance, but you got to keep it close early. And these early games that the Chiefs seem to win, that the really good teams later in the year, like, oh, they got home field advantage. Again, this is where you win home field advantage. The first 5-6 weeks of the season. Bottom line, that's where it happens. How do you do that? You stay close. Keep it close. Keep it a 1-score game till the fourth quarter, and then take your shot.
Talking to Mark Sanchez. He's in Chicago preparing to call the Rams-Bears. That'll be kickoff 1 Eastern. Do you have your hair in a bun?
I do.
Turn around. Let me see.
Somebody said I look like the guy when I part it like real hard. Kay Adams the other day said I look like Colin Crisp. Remember Kindergarten Cop, the bad guy? Just crushed me.
Well, congratulations. You can wear your hair in a bun.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I was going for more of an Antonio Banderas kind of look, but
okay.
didn't really work. Didn't really work out. Talk about your all-time backfires.
If I'm a Bears fan and I'm seeing Caleb Williams,
yeah,
what kind of feeling should I have so far with what you've seen of him?
Listen, it's a work in progress. The first thing I said, his very first game in the league, is patience, and nobody seems to have that, regardless of what we're talking about in the world. I don't care if it's politics, sports, finance, like, it doesn't matter. Everybody wants it, and they want instant grits. That's not the way you develop a quarterback. That's not the way this league works. So, are there a couple quick fixes that can really help him out? Absolutely. I think they can help him on first down, running the ball. We talked about teams running the ball. They're not running the ball well. Bottom line, I think DeAndre Swift is a great complimentary back. I think he can be the guy who comes in and gives you more of a spark. But Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson have to be their main power backs. They love to run this outside zone because it's a Shane Waldron system. And if you can run outside zone, you have athletic enough tackles and guards that can move and get on the move quickly. So you can't tell me these guys can't hold up in the pass game. They should be able to slide and move, which they like to do in their protections all the time. The problem is they have more pre-snap penalties than, just about anybody I've seen. They're in, first and 15. I don't want to see first and 15. If I see first and 15 once in 4 games, that's too many times. You know what I mean? As a coordinator, and I'm being critical, obviously. But you put your rookie quarterback behind the 8 ball like that to start off drives, it's just like a pitcher going, 3-0. What do you think they expect on 3rd and 15? And then, because he's so competitive, because he's so talented, on 3rd and 15, backed up in his own area, yeah, I can make this throw. And dude, If anybody knows what the guy's going through, it's your boy in a bun here. Are you kidding me? I've done the exact same thing 30 times, like easily 30 times. And I got it. I can make it. Dude, dump it to the back, cut bait, move on with your life. Your job is to put the ball in play and put it on the defense, make them tackle. Just see what happens. Even like, think about this. He's had 5 turnovers in the last 2 games. Okay. They've lost both of those games. The first game, he had no turnovers, did not play well, but they won the game.
Yeah.
If you don't give it away, once again, more games are given away than they are won. If you don't give it away, Caleb, your boys are going to be in a chance. You're going to have a chance to win this thing. And they kept it a 6-point game for the bulk of the game against Houston 2 weeks ago. We're in it to win it, baby. They had a chance, and they couldn't get anything going on offense. Okay, give it away. Just don't give it to them. Let your guys at least have a chance. And I think that's what they're still working through. Caleb's still working through some of that. And I think they're in a difficult position because he is so talented and so good. You don't want to take it away from him. You want him to develop. You want him to understand the game. But you also don't need him to be Superman all the time. And he's still, battling with that. He's wrestling with when it's time to turn it on, when it's time to make the throw, and when it's time to just hang back, distribute, and see what happens.
Is it fair as we move forward that Caleb is always going to be compared to Jaden Daniels and vice versa?
Well, of course. And I mean, as soon as one player type, like, rookie quarterback, and you're going to compare the guy's new system, franchise that's been struggling. Oh, it's the same thing. Well, it's not totally the same thing. The thing that's different about Jaden, well, one, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. He had an incredible game last week. National TV against a Cincinnati defense that's not playing very well. So, okay, call it what you want. He got out of trouble a lot with his legs. The dude has elite speed. We watched him at LSU pull away from really fast defenders and just take off for 70 yards. So that's something that Caleb doesn't quite have. He doesn't have that. Like, Jaden has like a step on him that way, if that makes sense. So he's going to get out of some trouble. And that's where Caleb might make one of those throws that goes the other way, the old boomerang ball, right? You throw it one way and there it goes back the other way. So for Jaden, listen, I don't want to anoint the guy too early, and I don't want to say he didn't play well. He did play well. But is that going to be your sustainable way to play? He's got to rush for 100 yards like every week. That's really, really hard to do. So, yes, unfortunately, he will be compared to those guys, just like me and Matt Stafford were in 2009. Joe Flacco, Matt Ryan, rookie quarterbacks in 2008, make the playoffs. Me and Matt Stafford were like, well, they did it. You got to do it. Their teams weren't good last year. You should. Whether that's fair or not, it doesn't matter, but you sign up for everything when you play this position.
He's a man in a bun. He's a man in his hotel room in Chicago, and he'll be in the booth on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Wait. Are you going to be in that new series, Chad Powers, by the way?
I haven't been asked to be.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay, my wife's in it, and she's all fired up, and I told her I was going to be on Dan Patrick, and she goes, wait, I thought he was going to be in the show. So
I'm going to be in Happy Gilmore 2.
When does that come out?
Well, we're shooting it now. Sandler's shooting it now in New Jersey.
Let's go.
But I haven't gotten my my script yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, I'm fired up for that. That's great.
Yeah. But who's the star in Chad Powers? The
Glenn Powell.
Oh yeah,
Glenn Powell, Steve Zahn, and Perry Matfeld, Perry Sanchez. We're working on her changing the last name. But
you don't worry about her on set with Glenn Powell, do you?
Sorry, my connection's cutting out. What'd you say? Can't. It's really.
You don't worry about that, do you?
I'm driving through the canyon. Can't hear you, bud.
Your wife's on set with Glenn Powell. Single.
Can't hear you. Fritzy, figure this out.
No, Fritzy's not there.
Hello.
No need to worry. That never happens on a movie set, Mark, where somebody,
Bye, Dan. Great to talk to you.
Thank you, Mark.
Wow.
That's Mark Sanchez joining us on the
Damn,
show.
Dan.
What are you doing?
That is harsh.
I've been on a movie set before.
Brag about it, dude. Brag about it. We get it, Dan.
All
You're a
right,
movie
Mark.
star.